Welcome to this video on using the Eqolines extension. In this video, we're going to show you how to use the Journey Matrix option. In order to use Journey Matrix, we need an origin place, and in this Excel sheet, I've named this JM origin, and in here I have an address, a latitude, and a longitude. The second sheet that we will need is a destination sheet. So how far are these destinations from that origin? And on here I've created a second Excel sheet called JM Destinations, again with a list of addresses, some latitudes and longitudes. So now over to Tableau, and as a data source, both those Excel sheets have been brought in. And for the origin, I can now create the address in that sheet and bring in latitude. For these two objects, we need to switch them to dimension and discrete. And the reason we do this is to give us a flat line table. So there's my single origin point, and I'll name this sheet origin. Second sheet now linked to the destinations. Let's do the same as before, bring in the same three objects, and for the latitude and longitude, the two dimension and discrete. So that's my flat line table now for the destinations. Let's make sure we name that tab. Now I can build the dashboard, and I want to bring these two into the dashboard, but I'm going to bring them in as floating and as hidden, just so they sit in the background. Origin is, and the same for destinations. Doesn't really matter where you leave it in the dashboard, as long as they're nicely hidden. Now I can switch that to tiled. I'm going to come in and bring the Eqolines extension. So there's the TRX file. Now for here, two slight big differences. If you're using the paid version, you'll only need to populate the key in the top line. If you're using the RS version, then you will need two keys, which will populate the top one and the second one. For the purposes of this demo, I'm just going to populate the top key using the paid version. I'm now ready to start the configuration, and the one that we're going to use is Journey Matrix. So now it's asking me to map to the two data sheets. So by calling them origin and destination, I can map them accordingly. And now within origin, I can map the location name to the address, latitude to latitude, and longitude to longitude. And exactly the same for destinations. So it's only the three columns that you need. I can now select some of the parameters. I'll increase this up. Let's look at a 15-minute journey by car, what is reachable. And in here, if I want to customize some of the colors for the grid, then I can do this at this point. And I also have the option to change some of the toolbar settings. 6 of 6 completed. I can now generate the matrix. Let's expand that out using fixed size to automatic. And here we see there's our departure location, and there's all those destination points, and it's calculated within those 15 minutes what is reachable and what isn't. If it's not reachable, the grid will say not reachable. If it is, then it will give the time duration for that. I can also switch that using the pivot table, and it might be easier that I view it this way. So at the moment, only 2 of my destinations are reachable by 15 minutes. I go to the parameters, let's increase this to 30 and submit. Change that to pivot, and I can see, as expected, a lot more of my destinations are now reachable within 30 minutes. Also have the facility to export this out as a file and view the information from there. This is how you use the Journey Matrix within the Eqolines extension.